Now's your chance to get a thorough health checkup for cheap. The Muscular Dystrophy Association and TV20 sponsors the annual event. It's a simple blood test. I did it last year. Life Check consists of tests for determining heart attack risks, prostate cancer, diabetes, and thyroid problems. The price ranges from $35 to $98. For more information, you can contact the MDA at 352-375-8365. All proceeds go to the MDA.
And you liked it so much last year, you had to look away, huh?
I didn't want to do it again.
All right, thanks a lot, Shelley. That'll wrap things up at 5:30. Thanks for joining us.
Now, here's a look at what's coming up next at 6.
An Ocala man receives a special gift. I'm Nigel Robertson in Marion County. I'll have this unique story coming up.
And it looks like we do have a few clouds across north central Florida this afternoon. Maybe some more clouds coming in for tomorrow and a chance of rain. We'll have details coming up. TV20 News at 6 is next.
Stay tuned for TV20 News at 6. Simulcast on AM 850 WRUF. From WCJB TV20, this is TV20 News at 6 with Paige Beck, Ed Mertz, Joe Brown Sports, and meteorologist Bill Quinlan, Weather, and the TV20 News team.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being with us. A former candidate for the UF student body presidency takes the stand in his libel lawsuit against Florida Blue Key.
Hopefully things will wrap up by the end of the week.
All right, Alisha, thanks. 2 Archer bank robbers are still on the loose. Hopefully surveillance video will help nab them. FBI officials have released this video in hopes that it will reveal the identities of the robbers. Alachua County deputies are also looking for anything that has a red stain on it, because the money bags were equipped with a red dye detonation device.
Gainesville police recommend that charges be filed against a 17-year-old in the shooting of the teen's cousin.
On days like today, it's easy to just want to go outside and play. The city of Gainesville is voting for more places to play, but today they tabled some of those specifics. Alachua County voters need to see if they agree.
That little E just by turning the rope.
It's spring break day camp at Morningside Nature Center. Open since 1971, the park hosts about 6,000 kids a year, but there's only room for 24 at a time to view places such as this 158-year-old longleaf pine cabin.
What this represents here is what the first families to move to Florida would have carved out of the wilderness, just very basic living, a log cabin, a garden, a cash crop field, some animals, and they were having to produce most of what they did. And this is Black Americans and European descent Americans, the Native Americans who were here had to do that, and that's what we try to portray here.
The animals may not quite comprehend it, but help could be on the way to make their home more homey. Planned as a 10,000-square-foot center, improved farm display, pavilion, and nature trails. It's among the $43 million in improvements the city would make.
You get to see the animals a lot, and we get to do some things that we haven't done before.
Like what?
Like making ropes.
Voters decide September 1st whether to add the 1-cent sales tax to pay for it. Among the projects costing over $1 million is Morningside Nature Center at $2.3. Bulware Springs would have soccer fields and horse rentals costing $1.5 million. For Citizens Park, lighted soccer and baseball fields, $1.5. Cone Park, a community center, tennis courts, football and baseball fields for $2.2 million. A new gym for West Gainesville costing $3.5, and a cultural center for the West Side at $1.9. Possum Creek Park is targeted for lighted soccer, baseball fields, and a multi-purpose center, $3.7 million. A senior center for $1 million and $10 million for school facilities. Green Tree Park would get a pool, lighted tennis and basketball courts, and bleachers for $1 million. The 39th Avenue improvements would satisfy needs in the direction the city is growing, northwest. More than $48 million more goes in a trust.
We'll be earning money for maintenance forever, and that means it'll be much less likely that we'll be going back to citizens in years to come and saying, please help us put a roof on the cabin, or please help us get teachers, because that's built right in.
The tax would be levied for 8 years, with projects in the county and smaller towns, too. Less than an hour ago, commissioners voted to delay a final vote. They may add another heated pool in place of a controversial dock at Palm Point.
The Florida Lottery continues to roll along. This time an Ocala man is driving away with the prize. TV20's Nigel Robertson has the story.
You got anything to say? I just can't believe it yet, but I guess it's true.
William Brown of Ocala was speechless as Florida lottery officials handed him the keys to this brand new 1999 Mercedes-Benz.
It's still hard to believe. I still can't believe it.
This gift has become a reality through Florida's Lottomobile program, a game of chance William Brown is glad he took.
Of all people, I would never think it would be me.
I hope somebody else does it before it's over with. Me. Now that I've seen it, I want to win it.
But Brown hasn't always been this fortunate. He was born with polio and has had trouble walking his whole life, but he didn't let the disease slow him down. For years, William Brown has reached out his hand to help others, and he considers this a true gift from God.
God had a lot to do with it. They say dreams come true, and this is really a dream.
A brand new dream with 4 wheels, a sunroof, and a horn. It carries with it a big smile. In Marion County, Nigel Robertson, TV 20 News.
Coming up, local teens join the fight against smoking.
And can we expect any more fights among state lawmakers? We'll be right back.
A few high-level clouds across north central Florida this afternoon, but no rain in the forecast until possibly sometime tomorrow afternoon. We'll have details and your forecast in a few minutes. Right now, here's your weather school question for today. The U.S. monthly snowfall record totaled about A, 22 feet, B, 32 feet, or C, 52 feet. We'll have your answer coming in just a few minutes.
The 2 state lawmakers involved in last week's scuffle on the floor of the House of Representatives today apologized for their actions. Carlos Valdez and Jorge Rodriguez Shomat were involved in a shoving match on Thursday after a debate on school vouchers. Witnesses say the incident was started by Rodriguez Shomat. Today, Valdez submitted a letter apologizing to the House for what happened, and he stood up to say he accepted an apology from Rodriguez Shomat, but he stopped short of offering an apology to him. The 2 men shook hands and hugged.
Teens across the state are fighting back against the tobacco companies.
Tired of being lied to about tobacco.
2 anti-tobacco commercials hit the airwaves in Florida today. They were developed by nearly 600 teens at the governor's Teen Tobacco Summit. 8 students from Alachua County took part. They say the message is simple.
We just want the truth, just for them to say, yes, we have lied, yes, tobacco is addicting, and not, just quit lying to us.
The $25 million anti-tobacco campaign is the first to be paid for by a settlement with the tobacco industry. Some specialty food stores in Florida could get a surprise visit. State and federal officials say they're looking for fruits and vegetables that have been smuggled into Florida. Agricultural Commissioner Bob Crawford says banned produce from Asia and Central America are threatening Florida's billion-dollar ag industry. Members of a new agency called the Florida Interdiction Smuggling Team, or FIST, will conduct raids of stores suspected of selling smuggled fruits and vegetables. Residents at the Tacachala community in Gainesville should soon find out if they'll stay hooked up to city water.
State officials plan to decide in a couple of weeks whether to make the current water connection permanent. Bob Williams has more in this week's follow-up file. Bob.
Beth, Ed, there have been some complaints about the water hookup, but the water hookup connection that is currently in place is safe. But there are complaints about how the water looks. Officials with Gainesville Regional Utility say the system is meeting quality standards. They also say the color and/or sediment should clear once a permanent water connection and treatment system is installed. The switch to the city water was made in January after high levels of 2 chemicals was found in several wells at Tacachala. The search for a cause continues. Meanwhile, the state officials are working with Gainesville Regional Utilities to figure out the cost and amount of city water the facility will need to hook up to a permanent system. That connection, once made, should clear up the color problem. 2 years ago this month, Gainesville was the site of a major bike study. Researchers from the University of North Carolina included Gainesville in the data collection phase of the project, along with selected cities in Texas and California. But after 2 years, the study is still not complete. Officials say the project was expanded to include curb lane and bike lane traffic. They will come back to Gainesville next month for more data. And the Celebrity Bagger Night for the American Cancer Society was a big success, although the final figures are not in. Officials say they should have no problem passing their goal of $8,000 when Dixie stores donate a portion of the gross receipts for the period. That is in addition to the tips collected from the guest baggers. The program is a hit. Some have suggested the Celebrity Bagger Night be expanded to twice a year. And I'm proud to report, Beth and Ed, there were no broken eggs or smashed pieces of bread as a result
Just a
of
lot
my
of
work.
wasted plastic there, though.
That's all right.
One
and I
thing of eggs in one bag.
That's the best way.
They said your line was a little slow, too.
Well, you know, it took me a while to get into the groove of things, but I finally got there.
Okay.
And you're going to have to tease Joe Brown for me. On TV 20 night at the ballpark on Sunday, Joe threw out the first pitch.
High and away, yeah.
Right. They lost. I did it last year. They won. Okay? What's that tell you?
Sounds like you wanted to do it this year, too.
That's for sure.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Coming up, Bill says it's going to be hot and sunny.
Well, we'll find out how hot the forecast is next.
Weather School is brought to you by GRU. GRU, the power of our community.
It's being called the worst flooding in 100 years, and it continues to devastate central and eastern England. The high waters cost some $500 million in damages and claimed 5 lives. More rain and snow is in the forecast for the area.
For our area, low humidity, Bill, it's been the best part for me.
Hasn't that been great?
Wonderful.
The only problem with low humidity is when when you get out of your car, if you have cloth seats and you touch something, you get an electric shock.
I'll handle that.
You can handle that?
Humidity
with the humidity?
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll actually have increasing humidity as we head into the next couple of days. So this will be the last of the really nice days, I think. Let's take a look, show you have 4 conditions outside today. Actually, very nice as they head down into Devil's Mill Hopper there, looking around, and the water is still quite high down in the bottom of the hole, and it looks like we do have some rain maybe on the way for tomorrow. Might start those springs running a little bit faster. Let's take a look, show you have 4 conditions outside today on the almanac with a high of 77 and a low of 44. Your normals 56 and 81, so a bit below normal for the day, and it'll be a bit closer to that for tomorrow with a high expected around 81. Winds out of the east on the east coast, out of the southwest on the west coast, and inland a little bit variable, east at 8 miles an hour in Gainesville, south at 6 in Ocala, and southeast at 11 at Lake City. We do have some warm temperatures inland, 75 at Lake City, 77 in Gainesville, and 79 in Ocala. A little bit cooler on the east coast and also on the west coast, at 75 at Cross City and 70 at Cedar Key. Across the rest of the state, we do see some warmer temperatures across the inland areas, 77 in Gainesville, 81 down at Fort Myers on the west coast, and a little bit cooler down in Palm Beach at 72. One thing that has made it very nice is the lower humidities over the last few days. You can see here in Gainesville, 35% humidity. Normally this time of day we would expect anywhere from 50 to 70% humidity, and during the summertime 75 to 90% humidity. So this will be the last day we see of these low humidity readings for the next several days. It looks like things will start to increase in a chance of showers. You look out towards Pensacola, you can see 71. That's one of the reasons they do have some clouds out there. Low-level clouds bringing in a lot of moisture around the bottom and backside of this high-pressure system, which is rotating the moisture down through the Gulf and up into portions of the Panhandle, also into Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. We don't see any showers there as of yet, but we do have a rather large storm system just starting to develop and create some problems in the St. Louis area. You can see the massive clouds here. It doesn't look that impressive, but if we zoom in, you can see some of the radar echoes here. We have had tornado reports on the ground near St. Louis and also up towards Springfield, Illinois, and this whole system moving towards the east-northeast with a lot of moisture coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico. Because of the moisture and the low-level jet coming from the south and the upper-level energy, we do have tornado watches in effect until 9 and 10 o'clock tonight. We can see a low-pressure system here in northern Missouri, another one up to the north in Manitoba, Canada. This one is not that impressive, but the one down to the south here in Missouri is, and that's bringing a lot of shear in the atmosphere, producing chance of some severe weather, and that will most likely occur southward too along the cold front that goes all the way down into Texas. It doesn't move very much for tomorrow. Our high pressure stays in control of the southeast, giving us another nice day, but as the high pressure pushes a little bit further out towards the Atlantic, we will see more moisture in the air, and that means a chance of showers later on in the afternoon with a high temperature in the 80s. And we'll see this system move towards the east coming out of Texas, and that means a chance of showers and thunderstorms coming up for Thursday and Friday as well. Probably our best chance of rain for the next several days will be towards the end of the week. For tonight, partly cloudy, some fog late, with low temperature around 54. Some of that fog could be rather dense with winds out light out of the southeast. For tomorrow, we see partly sunny skies becoming mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a chance of showers with a high of 81. Even a thunderstorm is possible. Winds out of the south 15 to 20 miles an hour, so a bit breezy out there. And for the boaters, it looks like we do have small craft advisories up, or small craft caution over at St. Augustine with 4 to 6 feet. And also at Cedar Key, 3 to 5 foot seas. We'll have to watch that to see if they may issue some advisories for later on tonight for tomorrow. And your 5-day outlook, we do have about a 20% chance of afternoon showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow, and then drying out for Wednesday. And then Thursday, better chance of showers going into Thursday night and into Friday, but should be clearing out for the weekend. Weather school question for today. The U.S. monthly snowfall record totaled about A, 22 feet, B, 32 feet, or C, 52 feet. The answer is 32 feet. B, during January 1911 in Tamarack, California. So they had quite a bit of snow, and there was
That's quite a bit of snow.
having almost 2 feet of snow in the last several days in portions of the Wasatch Range and the Sierra Nevadas out towards the west. So the skiing is still great out there for the spring skiers, but it looks like our dry weather will come to an end as we head towards the middle of the week.
All right, so we'll stay out of the upper 80s anyway.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, thanks, Phil. Sports is next. Reaction from the Masters champion is on the way.
And the Gators try to run over Southwest Louisiana. Joe has the highlights coming up next. And we have a follow-up to our follow-up file now. Mr. B was busting on you, and you're pitching.
You know, I don't know what he's talking about, because there was a buzz around the stadium yesterday, even before I threw out the first pitch, that they thought...
That you would be there?
No, that they thought that he broke an egg during the celebrity bagger, and they were quite upset, and I really think that's what happened to them yesterday and why they lost the game.
Yeah.
I really do. The Florida Gators, today's outcome was decided the same way yesterday's was, by a home run. But fortunately, this